Hey everybody, I'm Adam Ringler and welcome to another accountability call for the Former Athlete Society. If you're joining us live, welcome. I appreciate that you're here, right? If you're watching this right now, there is a good chance that you're trying to figure out how to stay consistent with your training and nutrition now that your college playing days are behind you. And quite frankly, let's just be honest, this isn't easy. Back when you were probably in college, you probably had a coach. They were setting the schedule. You had teammates holding you accountable, and the structure of practice, lifts, and film, all of this existed to provide you structure. Now you're on your own. And some days it probably feels like you're miles away from the athlete that you used to be. And that's why I've created the Former Athlete Society. That's why I'm here. This isn't about chasing your old stats or comparing yourself to your college peak. It's about building health and performance habits that fit your life today. Habits that you can stick to for the next 10, 20, 50 years. So even if I'm the only one on our YouTube live right now, I'm talking directly to you. I've got 4 great topics lined up today. Each one comes from my own life that I've tested, I've trialed what works, what didn't work, and every one of them is tactical enough for you to start using today. So I need you to stick around to the end as well, because I'll give you a way that you can join the Former Athlete Society and start rebuilding your discipline with the team again. So let's get into it. But first, I need to just do this, get this out of the way. Like always, my name's Adam Ringler. I've been a strength coach all of my life. Sorry, I'm trying to get some things on my screen here. I've been a strength conditioning coach all of my life. And my job is to take the lessons I've learned through my entire career and apply it to this channel and provide you some of this information so you can get the most out of your lifestyle. Now, section number 1 that I want to get into is the everyday athlete secret. And what I mean by this is that everyone thinks that getting in shape means that you have to sort of metaphorically kill yourself in the gym and just grind yourself into things. And here's why they're completely wrong. And why walking uphill, especially with a backpack or a ruck, is the best thing I've ever done for my own body. Now look, I've spent 20 years in this weight room. I've seen athletes grind themselves into the dust thinking that more intensity equals more results. But I'm here to tell you that that mindset is holding you back. Now, when you're 22, maybe you can get away with maxing out every session. But at 32, at 37, at 42, that approach will eat you alive. And so that's why I started rucking. It's joint friendly. It keeps my heart rate in an aerobic zone, and I can do it every single day. And here's the kicker. I don't ever hurt. There's no tweaked knees, no jacked up ankles. My back is fine. It's just steady daily progress. And that's really important because you know what? Sort of funny, at least to me, is that every week somebody in this facility that I work with asks, they come in and they say, hey, why do you spend so much time walking uphill on this treadmill, Adam, with your weight vest on? And I get it. To a lot of people, it doesn't look really hardcore. It's not flashy. It's not viral Instagram workouts with chains or bands or, PR attempts. I'm not doing sprints up the treadmill or anything like that. I choose uphill rucking, and I think uphill rucking, it's one of the most underrated tools for former athletes. And I love it because it's consistent. It's repeatable. I can do it every single day without trashing up my knees, my ankles, my low back. And it gets my heart rate exactly where I want it to be. That 130 to 130 beats per minute range for me. That's my aerobic sweet spot. I'm building capacity. I'm boosting recovery. I'm staying lean without needing 2 hours in the weight room or doing a HIIT class that leaves me absolutely wrecked. And as I get older, I care way less about smashing those super intense workouts on the treadmill or Airdyne bikes. And you've heard me say this time after time again. Your best ability is your availability. And if I'm healthy and I'm moving every single day, that adds up over time. And meanwhile, the guy that trains all out for maybe only 2 weeks and then tweaks a knee or, gets shin splints or torches his motivation because his joints hurt, he's sitting at home for the next 2. Consistency wins always. So here's what I do. I throw a 25 to 30 pound weight vest on. I got it through 5'11". I lace up some good shoes. I crank up the treadmill to 25% and I walk. That's it. There's no magic to it, no crazy protocols. I'll watch game film. I'll listen to podcasts. I'll watch YouTube. Some days I just zone out and I just breathe. And for former athletes, especially those that are carrying old injuries, this is gold, right? I absolutely love it. You don't need to chase the feeling of college two-a-days again. You just need something that you can repeat over and over again. Now, I want to pause here and say a couple different things, right? If you have yet to do this, I want you to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to our YouTube channel below. Join us here at the Former Athlete Society and the community that we're building. We're building something special here. And in addition to that, once you subscribe to our YouTube channel, I need you to do this. I need you to, there's my lights, always live, once a day. I need you to head over here, and it's adamringler.com. This is my website. This is where I publish all of our articles, all of our long form articles, all of our replays of our Q&As, our accountability calls, our master classes. adamringler.com. Check it out. Head over there. Now, I want to talk about another topic. This is topic number 2 for today's accountability call. And you think you know your calories? Do you know what you're consuming? Here's why you're probably 500 calories off easily. But more so, I'm going to teach you how to fix it using middle school algebra, right? Here's the deal. If you're not tracking, you're guessing. And if you're guessing, you're probably wrong most of the time. So as simple as it can be, log your food, weigh yourself daily, use the scale as feedback, not judgment. You don't need that. Your weight's trending up. You're probably eating more than you're burning. If your weight's trending down, you're at a deficit. If you're holding steady, you're at maintenance. And now, this isn't about restriction, it's about awareness. The moment you get honest about your intake, everything changes nutritionally. So, what have I found over my time? I know the frustration that you're probably feeling. Back in college, you could eat probably like garbage and stay pretty lean because practice burned 1,500 calories. Now, a couple weekends out, maybe a wing night here or there, some craft beers there, right? And suddenly your warm-up jog feels like a max effort movement. And here's the harsh truth. As a former athlete, your body still responds to inputs, but you need data to know what's working. And that's why I harp so much on macronutrient tracking. It's not about being obsessive. It's about having clarity. So when you log every calorie that you consume and you weigh yourself frequently, you got 2 pieces of the puzzle. You have the intake, and then you have the rate of body change. Now the third, that's what we call your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure. And here's the simple formula. If your weight drops, you're in a deficit. If it climbs, you're in a surplus. If it's steady, you're at maintenance. And that's really it. That's the beauty of it. The magic happens when you start adjusting. Maybe you bump protein up by 20 grams. Maybe you shave off 150 calories of carbohydrates and watch the data for 2 weeks, then tweak again, right? Apps like my favorite, Macro Factor and Carbon, they take the math out of it. But they can't track the handful of pretzels that you ate standing at the pantry. Only you can do that. So you got to be honest with what you're tracking and what you're consuming. And when you do, you stop guessing. You start actually driving. You take control over your body again. Not like in college, but in a way that works for your life. Now, that said, there's a couple other things I want to kind of share with you. If you have not yet done this, I need you to head right there. That's our Instagram. Check it out. I'm at Adam Ringler. You get a behind the scenes look of everything that we're doing from a strength and conditioning perspective, what I'm doing in the weight room, what I'm doing with the teams and the athletes that I work with. But more so, you'll get behind the scenes access to the Former Athlete Society and other really awesome things that we're doing. I want to talk about something that's been sort of a labor of love for me, something I've been enjoying and playing with. Now, I've been coaching for almost 2 decades, but this one thing that I'm about to share with you has taught me more about discipline than maybe anything in the weight room could ever, right? Being bad at something sucks. That's the honest truth. but it's also where growth lives. So if you want to rediscover that mindset that made you great as an athlete, try picking up something completely brand new. It'll humble you. It'll probably frustrate you. But if you stick with it and you rebuild that kind of resilience that translates everywhere, back into your training, back into your nutrition, back into your life, that is magic. So, you know what's kind of wild, right? I spent most of my life thinking that I've somewhat mastered the hardest parts of being a beginner. After all, listen, I've been a coach for almost 20 years. I've taught, kids, really like small kids, how to Olympic lift who've never touched a barbell before. I've guided athletes through grueling preseasons and built programs from scratch. I know what it feels like to grind. I also know what it takes to push through plateaus, or at least I kind of thought I did, right? And that's until I picked up, here it is, my acoustic guitar. Now, Adam, what does an acoustic guitar have anything to do with strength and conditioning? Here's the story. I'll start with this. When I was 15 years old, I saved up money for my first ever job. Now, it wasn't a glamorous one either. I was mowing and I was like weed eating the city parks. My first paycheck, I went out and bought a Fender acoustic guitar. And I was obsessed, right? Dave Matthews Band was so huge at the time. This was like early 90s. And I was obsessed with this idea of playing this guitar. I wanted to strum songs, maybe even write my own. And for about maybe 2 weeks, I tried, right? But then life got busy, right? Sports consumed my life, college, coaching, career, family, all that. That guitar stayed at my parents' house, my old home, collecting dust in a closet, my childhood bedroom for probably 24 years. Now we fast forward 24 years later, and I'm standing in my childhood home. I'm staring at this dusty old guitar. And on a whim, I pull it out. I tune it up. And I think, how hard could it be? The answer is brutally hard. My fingers felt clumsy, right? The strings left grooves in my fingertips so deep that they ached for days. And I couldn't transition between basic chords without my brain locked up. My strumming sounded like someone shaking a bag of rocks. And here's the thing, at first I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And as a coach, I'm used to being competent. I know how to squat, how to sprint, how to program, how to analyze force plates, all of those things. I'm not used to being bad at something. But sitting there with that guitar, I was reminded of something powerful. This is exactly what it feels like for a former athlete walking into the weight room for the first time, right? So think about it. You just honestly, take a moment and think. If you grew up on a basketball court, the volleyball court, somewhere else, the track, moving your body in a certain way for decades, then suddenly transitioning into a weight training as your primary form of fitness, it's foreign, it's frustrating, it probably makes you mad, it's crazy, right? You might not, you might know in theory what a Romanian deadlift is, but when you actually try it, it feels awkward. Your hamstrings burn, your grip slips, you're self-conscious about your form, all of those things. It's the same thing that I felt with the guitar. My progress was super slow. I wanted to quit so many times after the first time picking it up, the first week, but I didn't. I kept showing up. 5 minutes turned into 10 minutes, turned into 20 minutes. I'm playing for 30 minutes straight. I'm watching YouTube tutorials. I'm fumbling through Wonderwall like a teenager again. And slowly my fingers started to remember chord shapes. My transitions smooth out. Strumming felt less alien for me. All of those things improved. And that's where the magic of being a beginner again occurs. It rewires your brain. It humbles you. It reminds you that progress isn't linear. It's kind of messy. It's unpredictable. It's full of peaks and valleys. You hit a breakthrough one day only to feel like you're, starting over the next. That's the fun part. This mindset, this beginner's mindset is critical for former athletes. Because if you're trying to rebuild consistency with training and nutrition, you have to let go of the idea that you're going to be right. You're not that college athlete anymore. You're a beginner in this new arena, and that's okay. What's not okay is letting your ego keep you from starting. So if you're stuck in a rut and you're feeling like every workout is the same, it's predictable, the same pattern, I challenge you to pick something up new. It doesn't even have to be fitness related, right? So learn a language, try a martial arts, right? Take up archery, pottery, rock climbing, anything that makes you a little bit more uncomfortable. That forces you to confront your own limitations and grow past them. That's the really cool part. The guitar taught me more about coaching than any seminar that I've been to. It reminded me what it feels like to struggle, to learn, to keep showing up, especially when you kind of suck at something. Guys, that's going to be it for our Former Athlete Society accountability call today. A couple things I want to remind us all about, right, is head over, hit the notification bell for our YouTube video, sign up there. You'll get advanced access to all of our videos, everything that we published online. And obviously like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, become part of this member of our Former Athlete Society. We are growing something special and we're starting to get some real traction on YouTube, and I want you to be a part of it and join us as well. As always, I appreciate you showing up for yourself, for each other, for our community, and I'll see you this Thursday on our Q&A call. Appreciate every one of you guys. Thank you.